This is Tim Willis, and armed only with a copy of OBS and a built-in laptop microphone. This is another video from Nomad Funnel Hacker. So what we're looking at is a new page in ClickFunnels. And what I'm going to be doing over probably the course of several videos is setting this page up. And we're basing it off this page right here, which is a Gus & Son page. We are not necessarily going to do the same colors, and Gus & Son works in Figma a lot, so we're probably not going to try to exactly duplicate this green gradient background that's kind of got this model look, but we are going to do the same thing. Then after we get the funnel built out, we are going to maybe look at doing some of that, but that's all going to be pretty much on the background images anyway. And most of this thing is going to be why we see how he's made it look kind of cool there. But as I said, kind of tough to do that stuff without knowing the exact size you're dealing with on your image. But we'll probably give that a shot at some point. In any case, this is an opt-in page for a lead funnel. We don't have a thank you page, although we can easily make one easy enough once we figure things out. But we're just going to work on this and just build out the basic structure. We have headline, offer, testimonials, and call to action button. And that's pretty much it. And then, of course, down here we have our terms and conditions and legal page stuff. So that isn't too daunting a task, but it will take some time to do. And so we are going to get started by setting up our top row. Now you see here how we have this over here and this over here. We could do that one or two ways. We could set that up as its own section with a 2-column row, or we could just put a 2-column row and make this a larger section, and we can work that either way. And so I am going to build it out as a whole section, unless it becomes a point where we need to separate things into two sections. But otherwise, I think we can do this testimonial part, and maybe build it out only doing two sections. We'll find out. Best laid plans of Mice and Men meets the funnel building. But anyway, that is the goal here. So we're going to go ahead and build out our top here, which is going to be this first 2-column row. So we need to add a section, and then we'll add a 2-column row. On the left-hand column, we'll add an image element, and on the right hand side we're going to add a subheadline. Now for our image element, we need some kind of logo, and we're going to come to Logo Ipsum to do that. We're not necessarily going to use what Guston used. We'll just probably download this one right here. Now, before I get too far here, so you want to go ahead and make your little notepad, or however you want to document this. In this way, once we are working with colors and fonts, we can start making some notes on that, or we don't have to look everything up what we did before all the time. So in our folder run the whole our assets in, we have taken the SVG file from Logo Ipsum. Now, as you notice in its natural state here, it just looks like the Windows swirly icon and has a file name. The SVG files are vector files as opposed to PNG or JPEG files. So the way to think about that is SVG files are Adobe Illustrator. Your JPEGs and PNGs are Adobe Photoshop. And so you really can't tell what this looks like until you put it into some sort of editor that can read the actual code that's contained in the file. That's annoying sometimes, but that's just the way it is. So back to our funnel, we're going to open up our image editor, image gallery rather. Oh, what we want to do here is go ahead and create a new subfolder called GS Lead 1. And that will kind of create a subfolder to keep our things in. Now, once we do upload it to that folder, it's also going to upload it in our main folder. But it's generally, as an organization method, a good strategy to put all the leads for a particular project in its own folder. So we'll upload our image. And there it is. And of course, ClickFunnels can decipher the SVG file, so we see what it actually looks like. We'll click on it. It's going to load up at 100%. Let's change that to pixels. That makes it easy to work with. Let's go ahead and start off with 200 pixels. Then let's go ahead and align it to the right. Now for our subheadline, we're just going to type in a fictitious support name. And we are going to then go to our settings. For right now, I'm going to make it black. I may make it a different color later on. I'll go ahead and leave it open sans. I want to change the font weight to regular. And we'll, for right now, leave the font size at 18 pixels. But we do want to go ahead and align that to the right. And if we want these two items to be further apart, we do have the option of expanding our row using the width control. For right now, I'm going to leave them where they are. I may later decide to spread them further apart, but let's see how they fit in relation to the rest of the page. And at that point, I am going to put an end to this video. And in the next video, we will move on to the next step. The only other thing we need to do is go ahead and save. Save early, save often. And that will be the video for now.